Now time for Ask the Expert, and I love a good steak, but eating too much red meat could lead to health problems down the line.
Yeah, a new study links red meat with an increased risk of death, including heart disease and cancer. Registered Dietitian Laurie Meyer is here to explain the study, and, should we be worried about this? I guess it's how much you eat.
First of all, the study, what this was, it was an observational study, and it used data from the nurses' health study and the health professionals' follow-up study. So these are studies that have been going on for the last 20 to 28 years, and it's a large population, about 120,000 people. But what the study actually found, they used food frequency questionnaire. Every 4 years, the participants had to fill out their questionnaire about what they were eating, what their eating habits were. And the correlation was the more red meat that people were eating, the higher their risk of death from all causes. And unprocessed red meat had a 13% increase in risk of death. Processed had a 20% risk.
So we're talking what, bacon, hot dogs?
Hot dog, bacon, sausages, cold cuts would be the process. So that the study shows that processed really seems to be much more
Steve
damaging.
Loves bacon.
Well, most people, most people love bacon.
Yeah.
I mean, that's one of people's favorite food. So but the bottom line with this particular study is, I don't think, because it was observational, you can't really make the leap and say, because of this study, you should not eat red meat. And I think that's the bottom line. That's what people are all asking. We had somebody call in and they wanted to know, does this mean we can't ever eat red meat again? And really, that's really not the case. Because it was observational, this was not a cause and effect study. They did not do a double-blinded controlled study. Also, what they found is that the people who were eating the most red meat also did not exercise. They also smoked. They also were drinking more alcohol. They didn't take any vitamins. They weren't eating as many fruits and vegetables.
Overall.
So these are people that really weren't healthy. And I think that it's a disservice to say that it was the red meat, because maybe it was a combination of all of those. Maybe it was the fact that they didn't exercise or any combination. And so I think we have to really kind of take a look at this more critically and say, okay, maybe it wasn't really the red meat, but there might be some things that we still can do.
So what is the smart way to eat red meat?
Well, what we also found is that this study did not look at organic meat or grass-fed meat in any way, and we have been seeing more and more research showing that the grass-fed meats might actually be pretty healthy for us. We take a look at this is a 3-ounce portion of grass-fed meat. We get about 3 grams of total fat, 1 gram of saturated, 1.22 grams of omega-3. That's your fish fat, your healthy fats. Also, almost 1.5 grams of CLA, which is really an important fat for reducing obesity and cancer. We also get some vitamin A and vitamin E. Now, if we contrast this to just commercial meat, which tends to be corn-fed, you see that you more than double the fat, and the saturated fat almost triples.
No omega-3.
You have almost no omega-3. You don't have the CLA, and your vitamin A and vitamin E are lower. So it might also mean maybe we need to go back to basics and eat more of the grass-fed. Bison is the original grass-fed meat. Lamb tends to be more grass-fed. Elk, venison if you're hunters, and also you can now buy grass-fed meat in many of the grocery stores. So that might be the moral of the story, and then maybe cut back on some of those processed meats, the bacon, the sausage, have them once in a while, not every day.
Okay, so there's hope.
There's always hope.
Laurie, stop going to Sundays at the Comet Cafe. Got a question for our experts? Email them, asktheexperttoday's TMJ4.com. You can also leave a voicemail. That number is 967-5253.